Cloud Master is a quirky little horizontal shmup released for the Sega Master System back in 1989. You take control of Michael Chen, who flies around on a cloud. This is a sharp departure to the common spaceship shooters that were popular at the time. Cloud Master starts off with you moving rather slowly with a weak shot, but you can quickly start collecting power-ups to make things easier. Some groups of 4 enemies will release a power-up if you destroy all of the enemies in the chain. Your primary shot can be upgraded by collecting the P icon. There are quite a few upgrade levels as well, first changing colors, then turning into a spread shot, before finally transforming into some laser-like shots. The A icon enables auto-fire, which is pretty handy. The E icon gives an extra life. The F icon makes you go faster. For some reason I find it amusing they used an F rather than the traditional S. In addition to these icons, when you defeat a level's mid-boss, a pair of doors will appear that you can enter. From here you have the choice between 4 secondary weapons. The secondary weapon system keeps the same power level as your primary, along with the auto-fire if you have it. As the game progresses, new secondary weapons also become available. Cloud Master starts off challenging as you move slow and your shot is pretty weak. You need to memorize the first half of the first level to survive, while you build up your guy. Once you get through this initial hump, Cloud Master is not that difficult by shmup standards. The enemy patterns are basic and most don't fire at you right away. So if you kill them quickly, you won't have to worry about dodging their fire. Additionally, once you get a few upgrades, it's pretty easy to mow everything down. The bosses are pretty big by 8-bit standards, but they aren't that well animated. Their firing patterns aren't too difficult, but will require some reflexes to get through. The graphics have that familiar Master System look I'm always talking about. All the sprites are a size bigger than what you would find on an NES game, the colors are bright and bold, and there is minimal flickering. The sound follows suit with very Master System sounding tracks that lack the depth of the best 8-bit games. Nothing here is offensive, but none of it would qualify as classic either. The graphical style in general is fascinating. The backgrounds clearly place our hero in China, but the enemy design is all over the place. The flying ramen bowls deserve a shout out for being truly bizarre. There are also mushrooms, animals toting guns, books, cat heads, pigs, turtles. It's pretty random and gives Cloud Master its own style. I suspect some of these items, the bosses, and the guy that talks to you between stages have some sort of meaning in Chinese or Japanese culture or lore. But I have no idea what those meanings might be. Cloud Master isn't perfect though. The biggest issue, which is common among 80s era shmups, is you lose all of your power-ups when you die. From your speed to auto-fire, your secondary weapons, everything. It's pretty much impossible to stage a comeback after a death. Eventually, the screen will become overrun with enemies and bullets, and you don't move fast enough to avoid it. Still, there is actually a lot well done here. The power-up system is fairly expansive, and I had a lot of fun seeing what my weapon would look like after collecting each P icon. Same goes for the secondary weapons. There are a lot of them, and I enjoyed trying them all out. The fact that new items are introduced as you progress helps make you want to keep going. The levels themselves are a bit bland, with the same scenery simply repeating, but it's better than just a black screen or generic Starfield. Cloud Master isn't great by any stretch. There were much better shmups released during this time period on both the NES and the Master System itself. But this isn't bad either. If you're looking for something a little different for the Sega Master System, Cloud Master just might be it. 3 out of 5.